Good morning, I'm Father X. For this set of videos in episode 11, this is your trial preparation. We're going to get into the specific topics you can testify about and questions you can address during your family court child custody trial. We've discussed that the goal in a child custody trial is to determine the best interests of the child and make a parenting plan that reflects those best interests, whether that means 50-50 custody for each parent or one parent having primary custody. But even if you know the best interest factors we discussed in episode 5A, you might still be asking, what do I have to say in court in order to prove it's in the best interests of our child for me to be a 50-50 or primary custodial parent? That's what we're going to cover throughout episode 11. I'm going to get you jump-started on how to prepare your testimony. On top of what I show you, then you can add additional questions or topics for each best interest factor as it relates to your specific case. And I will show you how to organize your testimony so that even an uninformed judge can understand reality. Throughout episode 11, we'll discuss your testimony around your background and the parent's relationship history, the best interest factors, additional topics such as your proposed parenting plan. We discussed the best interest factors in episode 5A, and I'll quickly summarize them now. We'll cover them throughout these multiple videos in episodes 11. You need to become an expert on these, and it takes more than just watching one 10-minute video, so I'll dive deeper into each topic. The child needs, basic needs, intellectual development, preferences of the child, emotional, psychological, social development, and fostering independence of the child. Parental guidance. The parents. We'll get into domestic violence, findings of child neglect or abuse, alcohol and drug use, mental and emotional stability, disability and physical health of the parents, co-parenting, coordinating with the other parent. The parent's home environment, availability of the parents, financial stability and ability to provide for the child, siblings. Prior arrangements, maintaining the stability of prior court orders, existing informal or written custodial agreements, primary caretaker, fostering the child's relationship with the other parent, prior child abduction. The parents in court, the parent's observable behavior in court, lying and manipulating the court process. Other topics can include religion and a guardian ad litem and or a forensic evaluator if you have one. To show you are the better parent for any given factor, if you ask the right question, you'll get the right answer. If you ask the wrong question, you'll get the wrong answer. I found that most family court practitioners ask the wrong questions. So the questions I'm going to show you are intended for you to provide intelligent analysis about what's best for your child, because that's what kids deserve. If you don't provide this intelligent analysis about your child, you should expect the judge won't do it either. And you want to prove that as many best interest factors as possible reflect that you should be a primary or 50-50 parent. Let's start preparing your testimony about the first topic, your background and the parent's relationship history. This is going to be a brief introduction to who you are. First, educational history. Where did you go to high school? Did you go to college? Where? What was your major? After college, did you get a master's degree? What did you study? Even if you didn't go to college, it doesn't mean that you're a bad or unfit parent. The purpose of these questions is to highlight positives, if there are any. Part of the goal here is to show some accomplishments that you're proud of and how you'll use them to teach your child. You want to show that you're a real person with real life experiences. Part of the goal is to block the judge from seeing you as just another man on just another case docket that they can completely ignore. Second, your employment history. The goal here is to demonstrate that you're a responsible, working parent, that you've had jobs with responsibility and you kept your jobs. If your career reflects a positive image of you, then talk about that for a few minutes. It's normal that people have sometimes been fired or quit some of their jobs after short periods of time. So don't be ashamed if those random instances happen to you too. If your career is not one of your strong suits, then just don't focus on it much. You can discuss, what was your first job? What did you do at that job? What were your responsibilities? How long were you there? What was your next job? What did you do at that job, and how long were you there? The story makes a lot more sense when you present it in sequential chronological order and show what month and year you were at each job. It also helps to discuss if your current job gives you the time or flexibility to be a 50-50 or primary custodial parent. Babies need all-day care, but kids that go to school need care after 3 or 4 p.m. Discuss your career, but it isn't supposed to be a 1-hour-long job interview, so just focus on the highlights to give the judge a positive impression of your career background. Most people are not vice presidents or CEOs, so don't think that you have to be that impressive to get custody of your kids. At this point, you might want to submit a resume as an exhibit, if you think that helps the court see you as a responsible, contributing member of society. In addition, I think it helps to connect your background to how you plan to raise your child. For example, I testified about my education and how I want to give the same educational opportunities to my son as his primary custodial parent. I testified about what I've learned in my career and how I want to teach similar lessons to my son to guide him in his own journey. Throw in some points about what you've learned in life and how that will make you a better parent for your child. Criminal backgrounds. Have you ever been arrested or convicted of a crime? Has the other parent ever been arrested or convicted of a crime? If the only time you were arrested is related to false allegations of abuse by the mother related to this custody case, then you'll talk about that later when we discuss domestic violence and abuse. Remember, the goal is to determine the best interest of the child. If you're going to talk about whether you or the mother were arrested, focus on how that impacts the parent's ability to properly raise your children. If it doesn't impact your ability to parent, then say or show that. If you were arrested unrelated to this child custody case, or before you even met the mother, then think about whether or not the mother is going to bring this up in her testimony or in their cross-examination of you. If you think they will, then it's better for you to bring it up and explain what happened and explain how it was in the past. You don't want the first time this is discussed to be a big aha moment by the cross-examining lawyer, because he will try to show that you were hiding your past and not being honest. But if you talk about it first, then you can maybe take the sting out of their argument. Your relationship history with the mother. You want to show some chronological timelines with the month and year of the key events. Timelines make it easier for an uninformed judge to understand it all. How did you and the mother meet? What happened next in the relationship? Did you get married? When did you learn you were going to become a father? How did you feel about the prospects of being a father? The goal here is to show you're not one of these stereotypes where family court just assumes the father is somebody who runs away from parenting. You want to show you were looking forward to being a father. You took it seriously, and you took steps to be involved during pregnancy, childbirth, and raising your kids, whether or not you were married. What actions did you take upon learning you might be the father? When she was pregnant, did you live together? Did you live together during her entire pregnancy? Where? Did any conflicts arise? When, how, and why did the relationship deteriorate? How did you try to resolve your conflicts with a mother? Did you go to couples therapy? How often did you go? What was the time period, month and year? What was the problem you were trying to fix in therapy? Were there any takeaways for you and the mother? Any lessons learned or any items to work on? Why are you and the mother separated now? This is your chance to tell your side of the story and show that you're a real human being with real feelings. In addition, many judges might blindly assume that the man abandoned the woman and the man is a bad person who doesn't want to take care of his wife and kids. Or your child's mother might try to portray you this way. This is your chance to destroy that bigoted stereotype by introducing the reality of the situation. And remember, in any relationship, there is his truth, her truth, and the real truth. Make sure you know the real truth. Finally, whether the end of the relationship was the mother's fault, the father's fault, or mutual, the goal is still to determine what's best for the children going forward. For example, If the parents break up because one parent was violent, abusive, or neglectful of the children, or abandoned the children, then that goes a long way to proving the best interest of the child is to live with the other parent. But if the parents break up for something more innocent, like they have jobs in different states, then that fact is less relevant to determining the best interest of the child. So connect the reason for the breakup to the best interest of the child instead of just blaming each other for the breakup. After the parents break up, if you want the job of a 50-50 or primary custodial parent, then you have to do that job. Stay actively involved in your children's lives after separation, as well as before and during the trial process. You shouldn't voluntarily give away most of the primary responsibilities to the other parent, and then ask to become the primary custodial parent. Of course, every case is unique. There are times when you give the other parent primary custody, but then everything falls apart and you realize they're not qualified to do the job. So focus on telling the truthful story of your situation so the judge doesn't have to rely on their biased status quo stereotypes. So this covers the parent's background. In the next episode, we'll start discussing questions and topics for the best interest factors of the child. There's a lot to cover, and you won't learn all of it in a 10-minute YouTube video, so I'll break it down into multiple videos. These might be the darkest days of your life. They were for me. I'm making these educational videos to help you navigate this nightmare. If you subscribe, you can get updates when I post more videos. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing with your friends who are in a similar situation. If you like, subscribe, and share, it'll help get this message out to more fathers. Please support this channel so I can make more videos. You can donate via my YouTube channel's About page using PayPal or Venmo.